Come closer. Let me tell you something. And I want you to listen well, because the news will never tell you this. In one small village in the north of Nigeria, children started to die. First 1, then 2, then 6 in one day, sometimes 7. Small children. Mothers were burying their babies before they could even finish naming them. And nobody could tell them why. By the time doctors reached that place, more than 400 children were already dead, all of them under 5 years old. Small ones who never did anybody wrong. The world later called it the worst child poisoning in modern history. But my friend, this is not a story about sickness. This is a story about gold, and about who is allowed to touch it, and who is only allowed to die for it. It's July 2026. You're with Historic Capital, and I'm glad you're here. Every like, every share, every comment you drop keeps this small light on. So today, sit down with me. I'm going to open one secret file. We are going to follow one small piece of gold, from that poor village in Zamfara all the way to a shining glass shop in Dubai. And I will show you every hand that touches it, every single one. Now here is the thing that will keep you awake tonight. The same dust that killed those children was full of gold. You hear me? The thing that poisoned their blood was money. Real money. That gold did not vanish. Somebody dug it. Somebody carried it. Somebody sold it. And somebody far away became rich from it. So let me ask you one simple question. If this gold is worth billions, why is the village that dies for it still poor? Why do they have nothing? Who is really eating this money? Sit tight, because once you see how this works, you will never watch the news the same way again. Let's start from the beginning. Zamfara, far up in the northwest. Dry land, hard life. Small farms that sometimes give food and sometimes give nothing. But under that ground, God put gold. Plenty gold. So when gold price jumped high in the world market, the poor people did what poor people do. They started to dig. They carried the rock home with their bare hands. And right there in their compound, beside their own children, they crushed that rock into powder to bring the gold out. But nobody warned them about one thing. Inside that same rock was poison. Lead. A grey powder you cannot see and cannot smell. It fell on their food. It entered their water. And it went straight into the blood of the smallest ones first. The doctors first thought it was malaria. Then they thought meningitis. Child after child came shaking with fever and just died. Then they saw the real thing. In one village, Dareta, one old man counted the small graves, 120. In another village, Yargalma, whole houses lost all their young ones. They tested the soil where children were playing, and the poison was far past deadly. Over 17,000 people had it inside them. Thousands of children were carrying death in their blood, and they didn't even know. You understand what happened here? The gold that was supposed to save them made them bury their own babies. And then, quietly, the gold left the village. Just like that. Gone. So the only question is, where did it go? Follow me. This is where it gets dark. Let's follow that gold. One small piece. From the village, step by step. Watch it well. The gold does not leave Nigeria with Nigeria's name on it. No. First, they melt it inside the same rough shed where they dug it. Then, it moves quietly. To a small buyer. Then, to a big man in the market. Then, to a carrier who knows the roads where nobody asks questions. And on paper? On paper, it becomes nothing. They write it down as scrap. Old jewelry. A small gift. That is the first trick, my friend. You turn treasure into rubbish on one piece of paper. And now it can fly anywhere in the world. And where does it fly to? One place above all. Dubai. Now picture this with me. You walk into one of those big, shining Dubai malls. Cold air, bright light, and there, behind the glass, gold. Gold chains, gold bars, gold shining like the sun. So clean, so beautiful. Rich people are pointing and buying, and nobody in that shop knows that some of that same gold started as grey dust in the lungs of a dead child in Zamfara. Nobody knows the village. Nobody wants to know. The blood is washed off with the dust. That is the magic trick. Let me give you the size of this thing so you can feel it. In just 1 year, more than 400 tons of gold left Africa with no proper record. More than 1 ton every single day, worth over $30 billion. And most of it flew into one country, the United Arab Emirates. It goes in private jets. It goes inside hand luggage, in bags with false bottoms, with fake papers. And a city with more than 20 refineries and 7,000 gold dealers just looks the other way. Then they do the cleverest thing of all. Once they melt that gold in Dubai and stamp it fresh, they change its story. It is no longer Zamfara gold. On the new paper, it is now Dubai gold. Clean, respectable, ready for the whole world to buy. You see how it works? The poor man's gold enters as a secret and comes out as a king. But listen, a road this smooth cannot build itself. Somebody back home is holding the gate open. So who is that person? Let me show you. Now this is the part they really don't want you to hear. So come closer. It starts with one law. In Nigeria, one small line decides everything. Every mineral inside the ground belongs to the federal government, not to the state, not to your village, not to the poor family standing right on top of it. So the people breathing the poison and burying their children, they own nothing, zero. On paper, that gold was never theirs from day one. So who is allowed to touch it? Only a license. One paper from one office in Abuja can hand a piece of the earth to a company you have never heard of in your life. But here is the number that opens your eyes. In the Northwest, 8 out of every 10 mines are illegal. No license, no record, no tax. A whole secret industry, working in daylight, and every big man in power knows exactly where every pit is. Everyone. Now watch this word closely, because you have heard it 1,000 times on the news. Bandits. In 2019, government suddenly stopped all mining in Zamfara. Not because of the poison, not because of the dead children, for security. The Inspector General of Police at that time, Mohammed Adamu, announced it himself. And the police said it plainly. There is a strong link between the armed gangs and the illegal miners. Now think with me, slowly. The state's own leaders warn that money from illegal gold is buying the guns. So the gold buys the guns, and the guns protect the gold. And those same armed men, they don't only kill, they kidnap. They snatch your child on the road and call you for ransom. They burn whole villages and chase everybody into the bush. And the whole country calls it one small word: banditry. But that word is a costume. That word is there so that you look at the gun and never look at the gold. So when the news shouts bandit crisis and everybody is fighting about tribe and religion and security, nobody is asking the real question. Who is buying all this gold and who is protecting them? That is the distraction. They give the crime a small nickname so you argue about the nickname and forget the money. Clever, eh? So let's remove the costume. Let's see the faces.
Who chops this money while the village dies?
Let's start at home, in Nigeria. Investigators have shown a network. Local big men, men with real political power, working hand in hand with foreign mining companies. And when some of those foreign miners were arrested for illegal mining, powerful godfathers picked up the phone, leaned on government, and the men were released. Just like that, they walked free. And the sponsors, the ones funding these mines, when even state governors sat down to talk with them, they talked on the sponsors' terms. Not government's terms, the sponsors' terms. You know what that tells you? These are not small boys hiding in the bush. These are protected men. The gold does not survive on the muscle of the gang. It survives on the silence of the powerful. And understand how the land itself works up there. That mining land sits under traditional authority. The local rulers, the palace, the men everybody must greet before they touch anything. Nothing moves on that ground without somebody powerful knowing. So when gold is leaving day and night and everybody at the top stays quiet, that silence is not by mistake, my friend. That silence is part of the machine. Silence is how they back each other up. And the real owner? You will almost never see his name. Because the owner is not one man. The owner is a company. And behind that company is another company. On some island you will never visit in your life. Mauritius, Cayman, the British Virgin Islands. The paper owner is hidden under paper, in places built for one job only, so that nobody can ever point one finger and say, this man owns it. You go to find the owner, you just find another door. And don't think it is only Nigerians eating. No. Follow the gold past Dubai. One of the biggest final buyers of that Dubai gold is a rich, quiet European country, Switzerland. In 1 year alone, Switzerland took in over 300 tons of gold from Dubai. They melt it again, and now it becomes Swiss gold, the most trusted gold in the whole world. The blood is now 3 countries away. So one poor Zamfara child feeds a chain that ends inside the cleanest banks on earth. That is the part nobody tells you. And that famous ban, the one that was going to fix everything? 5 years later, December 2024, the Tinubu government quietly lifted it. The minister, Dele Alake, said security had improved. He said they had caught a most wanted gang leader called Halilu Sububu, the same man who controlled the mining sites. So they caught one man and reopened the gates, and the same gold started flowing again. Which brings us right back to the one question we started with. So, who really owns Nigeria's gold? Let me tell you plain, the way one friend tells another. On paper, the government owns it. In the village, nobody owns it. In the market, a carrier owns it for one afternoon. In the account, a company owns it, hiding behind another company on an island with no name on the door. But at the very top, at the very, very top, the people who truly own that gold are people you will never see. Shareholders. Faceless shareholders in companies and refineries and banks far away, collecting their small share of a poor child's grave every 3 months on time forever. They never touch a shovel. They never smell the dust. But every gram, they eat. And here is the hard truth. This gold was never stolen the way you imagine. No mask, no broken door, no gun in the vault. It was signed away, licensed away, renamed and remelted away. Follow the whole chain and every single link is just paper. The ownership law, the license, the scrap form, the offshore company, the Dubai stamp, and almost every paper was completely legal. That is the real secret. It was not a crime that broke the law. It was a machine built out of the law. The gold left, the lead stayed, the graves stayed, the kidnappers stayed. Until today, nobody anywhere in this world has answered for 1 gram of it. And if this machine is still running right now, today, while you and I are talking, then the real question is no longer, where did the gold go? The real question is, how much is leaving tonight, while they teach you to call it another name? So now, I want to hear from you. Tell me the truth. When you hear those 2 words on the news, bandit crisis, how does it make you feel now? Are you from Zamfara? From Katsina? From anywhere in the north where this touched your own blood, your own family? Drop your story in the comments below. I read them myself. We are going deeper into this one, and your voice belongs in this file. And if you believe your brother, your sister, every Nigerian should see how our wealth really leaves this land, do one small thing for me. Subscribe, and send this to somebody who still believes the gold just disappeared. Because next, we open a bigger door. Not gold, not oil. The gates that every single thing coming into this country must pass through. Who really owns Nigeria's ports? That file, is already open on my table. The truth is in the transactions. Follow the money. You are watching historic capital.
That's power. Power is what? Taken.
Power is not given. Power is taken.